Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. My name is Pete and this is a 5-minute Bags of Action review of Godzilla Minus One from 2023. Post-war Japan is at its lowest point when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster baptized in the horrific power of the atomic bomb. This film was written and directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who also wrote and directed Ghost Book and animated movie Lupin III The First. It stars Minami Hamabe, Ryosuke Kamiki, and Sakura Ando, among others. For me, there's something satisfying about watching something from somewhere other than the US or the UK, be that TV like Dark or a film like Parasite. You don't recognise the cast necessarily from anything else, so you approach their characters purely on face value. You have no preconceptions of what kind of people they're playing on screen. This film is more of a true auteurs movie than, say, a studio film made by committee, and it really shows. This film's like just what Godzilla should always be, a true Japanese film set at the end of World War II, and it was just as special as that premise sounds. Godzilla has always represented the atomic bomb in previous films in some way, so having him born out of that and embracing the power of the atomic bomb, it's genius. It really is. In this film, Japan is coming to terms with itself post-war. It's affected those who served in the war, those who survived, including our main character, and those who stayed home and maybe have lost people. Every single person in this film is living in the shadow of what they've just experienced, and now they're about to go through another trauma. War films are great at exposing the human condition, and a film set under the shadow of war and picking up the pieces after war holds up a mirror to society, to a country, and to each individual. This is at the same time a small movie with a small group to follow, but it also expands as the story develops to become almost an ensemble piece. Yes, I'm talking about a small movie about a huge giant monster. It's almost like an indie 90s movie, but it's also a massive monster movie. I'm not sure how that works, but it really does. Now, character-wise, there are no bit parts here. Every single character has a real life to bring to screen. What makes this film so powerful then for me is those strong central characters. They're exquisitely crafted through the script and also through the performances. You care about every single person you get to meet in this film, and you're invested in them as their individual story arcs play out. And yes, every character gets an arc of their own. Godzilla, in many ways, is a catalyst here, a force of nature, an existential threat that prompts change in people. This isn't just a throwaway monster movie, far from it. They draw you in via the characters and you are there with them from the very first frame to the very last one, emotionally invested far more than a kaiju movie might suggest. I strongly believe you can create just as emotionally charged, character-driven stories in genre storytelling as you can in straight drama. For me, this is where some Hollywood movies get it wrong, their focus being on pure spectacle, often at the expense of three-dimensional characterization. Now, if I don't care about the central characters in the film and don't believe their relationships or the motivation behind their actions, then no amount of visual bells and whistles is going to make me any more than a passive observer. The best cinema for me, like the best music, makes you feel. And that's what this does in spades. It makes you feel. The American Godzilla movies have been extremely inconsistent to me, often a series of cool moments marred by a lack of character development and too easily wrapped up in style over substance. This, however, is what a Godzilla movie should be like. In short, as you can probably tell, Godzilla Minus One blew me away. It's a heady mix of emotional character study and action-packed genre movie. Because yes, I've talked about it as like an indie film, but it's still got these huge set pieces that are beautifully done and exquisitely shot. I could write a thesis on all the themes this film explores, and I've been thinking about it for weeks since I first saw it. What I want from an action movie, and one of the reasons I do Bags of Action, is I want two things. I want exciting and exhilarating action scenes, and I want characters that I truly care about. This film delivers both in spades. and that makes it one of the most satisfying and complete action films that I think there's been in years. This is the best monster movie I've seen. This is the best disaster movie I've seen. And it was by far my favourite film of 2023, by some margin. So with all that considered, you can probably guess where this is going, but I'm going to give Godzilla Minus One 5 bags of action out of 5. For me, it's pretty perfect. Have you seen Godzilla Minus One? Do you agree with my overwhelmingly positive assessment of it? Feel free to comment below or get in touch with us via email, Facebook or on Twitter. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do that at our Ko-fi page.